I was born in a city where rain falls like it's keeping a secret. Why did life give me a song that hurt to sing? How do you keep going when the person you love might never be whole again? What if the worst days were the ones that showed me who I really am? Those questions stuck with me, waking me up at night like a bad dream you can't shake. I didn't know it then, but answers were coming step by step. Through the mess of life, I was born in 1985 in Seattle, Washington, where the sky stays gray and the air smells like wet trees and salty water from the sound. Our house was a small place in Capitol Hill, with chipped blue paint and a porch that leaned a little. The roof leaked in storms, and Dad would patch it every spring, grumbling but proud when it held. My dad, Harold Bennett, drove a city bus, knowing every street from downtown to Fremont. His hands were rough, but he'd wave at passengers like they were family. Mom, Clara, stayed home, turning cheap groceries into meals like meatloaf or peach cobbler. She'd hum old folk songs while washing dishes, her voice calm and warm, like a hug you could hear as a kid. I loved books and music best. I'd hide in my room with library books reading about adventurous pirates. Far-off lands under the covers with a flashlight. At night, I'd sneak to the living room playing Dad's old records, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, a beat-up player. Their songs made my heart race, like I could be something bigger. "Sophia, you're dreaming again," Mom would say, smiling as she tucked my hair behind my ear. "Keep one foot on the ground, okay?" We didn't have extra cash. Groceries came from sales, clothes from thrift stores. We never took real vacations, just picnics at Green Lake with sandwiches and lemonade. But those days felt special. Dad taught me bus routes like they were a game, saying life's a map, Soph, even if it twists. You'll find your way. Mom showed me how to bake cookies, her hands guiding mine to roll dough just right. Those moments with the kitchen warm and rain tapping the windows kept us close. When I was 11, things got tough. Dad's back started hurting from driving all day. He'd come home stiff, trying to hide the pain. Mom took on sewing for neighbors, her machine buzzing late at night. I felt stuck, so I saved birthday money for a used ukulele from a shop in Fremont. It was scratched and sounded rough, but I loved it. In my room, I'd strum quiet songs like this, Land Is Your Land, letting the music calm my worries. Why did life feel heavier as you grew up? I'd think fingers aching from practice. High school was a blur. I wasn't cool too shy, always with headphones, listening to Nirvana or Soundgarden to drown out the chatter. I liked English class, where poems felt like secrets I could keep. Friends came and went, and I spent lunches in the library, writing song ideas in a notebook. In 10th grade, I signed up for the talent show. My stomach churned, but I dragged my ukulele on stage, singing a song I wrote about rainy days and feeling lost. My voice wobbled, but when people clapped, I felt alive, like I mattered for a moment. I dreamed of music school, but money was too tight. Dad's back got worse, and he retired early when I was 16, his pension barely covering bills. Mom's sewing helped, but not enough. I started at community college, taking classes in books and music theory, but work took over. I got a job at a bookstore in Capitol Hill, ringing up novels and stacking shelves. The air smelling like paper and coffee from the cafe next door. That's where I met Ethan Harlow in 2003. Ethan was different, wild brown hair, eyes like the ocean in a storm, and a grin that made my heart skip. He played guitar on street corners near Pike Place, singing covers that stopped tourists in their tracks. I saw him one day during my break, his voice turning Hunger Strike into something soft and sad. He caught me staring and smiled. Later, he came to the cafe, ordered a coffee, and stayed to talk. "You like music?" he asked, leaning on the counter. I nodded, shy, and he wrote on a napkin. "Your eyes sing louder than my guitar." We started hanging out walks by the water, sharing fries at Dick's Drive-In, talking about dreams. Ethan wanted to be a big musician, maybe get a record deal. I told him I used to write songs, but gave up. He got me playing my ukulele again, teaching me new chords on his couch. We'd laugh until our stomachs hurt, kissing under streetlights with rain in our hair. Falling in love felt easy, like a song you know by heart. In 2005, at 20, we got married at the courthouse. It was simple jeans, pawn shop rings, and a picnic at Gasworks Park with hot dogs and friends. We moved into a tiny apartment in Wallingford where you could hear neighbors coughing through the walls. I worked full-time at a Queen Anne coffee shop, pouring drinks for morning commuters. Ethan played gigs at bars, but the pay was shaky. Still, we were happy, singing together on the floor. Our voices mixing like sugar in tea. Our daughter, Olivia, came in 2007. She had Ethan's curls and my eyes, and her cries kept us up all night. I learned to rock her with one arm, humming lullabies to calm her. Ethan took more gigs, lugging his gear through the rain. In 2009, Lucas was born, a chunky baby with a laugh that lit up the room. We bought a small house in Finney Ridge, signing a mortgage that made us nervous. It had a little yard and a sunny kitchen, but the pipes groaned and repairs ate our savings. Life got busy. I became a shift leader at the coffee shop, waking up at dawn to open. Ethan taught guitar lessons when he wasn't playing shows, but the money wasn't steady. Some nights he'd come home late smelling like beer, saying, "One more gig, Soph." "Oh," and we're set. I'd nod, but worry grew like a weed. Bills stacked on the counter mortgage, car fixes, doctor visits for the kids' colds. Olivia started school drawing pictures of us smiling. Lucas toddled around, banging spoons like drums. We found joy in small things, park playdates, movie nights with popcorn. Bedtime stories where I made funny voices. The 2008 recession hit us hard. Ethan's gigs slowed. Bars couldn't afford live music. My hours got cut and we stretched groceries with canned soup and dulled bread. Olivia asked why we didn't go out to eat anymore, her big eyes confused. Lucas clung to us, sensing the stress. "We're okay," I'd tell Ethan at night, holding him close. But I wasn't sure. In 2012, life broke apart. It was a rainy Tuesday and I was cooking tacos, Olivia coloring at the table, Lucas napping. The phone rang, unknown number. "Mrs. Harlow, your husband's in the hospital. Car accident." My heart dropped. A truck skidded through a light on Capitol Hill, smashing Ethan's car on his way to band practice. I grabbed the kids, drove shaking to Harborview, rain blurring the windshield like my tears. The hospital was cold, smelling like bleach. Ethan lay in a bed, hooked to machines, his face swollen, leg in a metal frame. The doctor said his pelvis was broken, his leg worse. "He might walk again, but it'll be a long road," she warned. Olivia tugged my hand. "Is Daddy okay?" I hugged her, lying. "He'll be fine, sweetie." Inside, I was falling apart. How would we pay for this? Who'd take care of everything? That year was brutal. Ethan had surgeries, metal pins holding his bones together. Bills came faster than we could count. Hospital stays, therapy, meds. Insurance helped some, but not enough. I worked extra shifts, leaving the kids with Mom, who moved in to help. Neighbors dropped off lasagna, and Ethan's bandmates started an online fundraiser. Ethan tried to joke through the pain. "Guess I'm bionic now," but his eyes were dark. "What if I can't play guitar?" he asked one night, voice small. I held his hand. "You're more than music, Ethan. You're us." Recovery crawled. Ethan's first steps with a walker, 6 months later, felt like a win. Olivia clapped, taping a superhero drawing to his bed. Lucas hugged his leg, giggling. But Ethan was different, quieter, sadder. His guitar sat untouched, dust settling on the strings. I wondered if we'd ever be the same, lying awake as rain pounded the roof. By 2015, we settled into a new routine. Ethan started teaching guitar online, short lessons from home. "Keeps me going," he said, smiling again. I worked full-time again, serving coffee to tech workers. We took the kids to Alki Beach, watching them chase waves. Ethan and I got closer, cuddling on the couch after bedtime stories. "You're my strength," he said one evening, kissing my forehead. I felt like we'd made it through the worst. Then 2020 came like a wrecking ball. The pandemic shut my coffee shop overnight. I was laid off with a cold email. Ethan's lessons stopped. Parents couldn't pay. We were stuck at home, the kids on Zoom for school. Olivia, 13, got quiet, missing her friends, her phone, her only escape. Lucas, 11, built forts from pillows, asking, "When can we see people?" The news scared me, hospitals full, stores empty. We wore masks to buy milk, wiped down groceries, and prayed we'd stay healthy. One night, Olivia cried after a failed online band practice. "I miss playing with my friends," she said, face buried in my shoulder. That hit me. I pulled out my ukulele, dusty from years in the closet, and started free online music classes for neighborhood kids, rainy day songs. The first try was a mess, bad Wi-Fi, kids shouting, but they loved it. Little Mia sang "You Are My Sunshine" with a grin. Jack asked for more songs. Word spread, and I started charging a little, enough to buy groceries. It gave us something to hold on to. The pandemic dragged on. Ethan got a bad cough one night, and I panicked, checking his temperature every hour. It wasn't COVID, but the scare stuck. Olivia helped at a food bank, her mask hiding her smile. Lucas banged on pots, calling it his drum kit. We got through it together, baking bread, watching old movies, finding laughs where we could. By 2023, things brightened. The coffee shop reopened part-time, and I went back. Ethan played small gigs at markets, his limp barely noticeable. Olivia joined the school band, dreaming of music college. Lucas started a band with friends, drumming in our garage. We weren't rich, but we paid the bills. Ethan acted strange, though hiding his phone, writing in a notebook he'd close when I walked in. "Just work stuff," he'd say. But I wondered, now, it's September 18th, 2025, and I'm 40. Seattle's rain is soft today, like it's whispering good news. Olivia's in community college, studying music, texting me about her classes. Lucas, 16 and tall, practices drums non-stop. Ethan's walking better, his smile back. Our house feels alive, kids' shoes by the door, dishes in the sink, grass growing in the yard. This morning, I was digging through the garage for Halloween decorations. I found Ethan's old guitar tucked in a case with faded stickers from bars he played before we met. My hands shook as I opened it, remembering how he'd sing to me. Inside was an envelope, my name in his messy writing. "Sophia 4 when you're ready." I tore it open, heart racing. The letter was from 2013, after his accident. "Sophia, my everything. I wrote this when I was stuck in bed, thinking I'd lost it all. You kept us going, working, singing to the kids, holding me up when I fell apart. I never told you about a song we made in 2004, before the kids. It's called Rainy Days. It's us, real and raw. I sent it to a music guy last month, Kay, and he wants us to play it at a big show in Seattle. Together, you're 40 now and you think your music's gone. It's not. You're the song in my heart. Grab your ukulele, Soph. Let's show the world we're still here. Love always." Ethan tears came fast, then laughter, mixing like rain and sun. Those questions about songs that hurt, about keeping going made sense now. I wasn't just getting by. I was building a life. I ran to the kitchen, waving the letter. Ethan was flipping pancakes, turning with that old grin. "Found it, huh?" he said, pulling me into a hug that smelled like coffee and home. "Ready to play?" Olivia burst in, earbuds dangling. "What's going on?" Lucas followed, drumsticks in hand. "Family secret?" they teased. "Family show," I said, voice shaky with joy. "We're playing Ethan's song." At Neumos, Friday night, Neumos was packed, lights low, crowd buzzing. Backstage, my stomach flipped, but Ethan squeezed my hand. "Like old times," he whispered. We stepped out, my ukulele light in my arms, his guitar gleaming. Rainy Days started soft, my chords like raindrops, his like waves. Our voices wove together, telling our story, love, pain, hope. The crowd went quiet, then roared, phones glowing like stars. Olivia cheered loudest, Lucas banging air drums. They called for more. So we played This Land Is Your Land. The kids joining us on stage, Olivia strumming, Lucas tapping a beat. The room shook with claps and shouts. Afterward, we spilled into the alley, rain misting our faces, sharing a bottle of sparkling juice from a fan. Olivia hugged me tight. "You're awesome, Mom." Lucas grinned. Next gig, I'm on drums. Ethan pulled me close under the streetlight, stars peeking through clouds. 40's just the start. Soph, we've got more songs to sing. I nodded, feeling full. Those questions from years ago, why the pain, how to heal, weren't questions anymore. They were this moment. My family, my music, my heart beating loud. Life's not about dodging the rain. It's about dancing in it together. And at 40, I'm ready for the next verse.